Now, more than 7 million of us take antidepressants every day. Some have been taking them for decades. In a significant change of position, the Royal College of Psychiatrists now wants doctors to do more to help people wean themselves off them. Rebekah Hock, who's struggled with coming off the drugs for the last 2 years, joins us now. Hi, Rebekah.
Hi.
Before we talk through the issues you've got now, do you mind just telling us why you first started to take antidepressants?
Yeah, sure. So I was diagnosed with postnatal anxiety when my son was 3 months old. I went to my GP because I couldn't sleep and I was having panic attacks. And she put me on quite a basic basic antidepressant. We gave that a few weeks, it didn't work, so then I was referred to the perinatal mother and baby unit at the LGI, where I saw a consultant, and they prescribed me a stronger dose of antidepressant, a different type, Venlafaxine it's called.
Right. So when was that, Rebekah?
That was 4 years ago now, nearly coming to 4 years ago.
All right. So, and when you went on those, were you just interested in relieving your issues rather than wondering what the long-term effects might be?
Yeah, absolutely. The anxiety the anxiety felt completely alien to me. I'd never experienced anything like that in my life, and I knew instantly that I wasn't well and something wasn't right. So I wanted something to fix it, and I was determined that I was going to fix it. And I guess it was a bit of a quick fix, but I followed what the consultant gave me. I took their advice.
And did they work?
I think they did work. Yeah, I think they did help, but I also had a really good structure around me, close family, friends. My husband's fantastic. I started exercising every day. I was going to baby groups. So there was a lot of other elements, but I think in the short term they did help quite quickly, yeah.
So what now, 4 years on, what first prompted you to think, right, I need to be getting off these?
So about 18 months in, I think it was actually my husband that was saying, maybe you should try and come off them. You seem a lot better. So I started to think, okay, I think I probably did a little bit of research, but I started to just basically cut the pills up that I was taking and chopping them in quarters and just kind of reducing them over a couple of weeks.
Right.
And very quickly realised that wasn't going to work, that I was back to where I was with crippling anxiety, uncontrollable crying, not sleeping, not eating. And so over the course of a year, I tried to do that on 3 separate occasions, just thinking that it wasn't the right time. And every time I just ended up going back up to the same dose. And I asked my GP for help. They weren't an awful lot of help. I rang the consultant at the mother and baby unit and asked for help, and she had no advice for me whatsoever.
Because what? Because they weren't informed, or
she they were just telling me that I was doing well. I just carry on with what I was doing. I'm not really sure. They just didn't have any kind of guidelines or any advice on how to do it. They were just saying, yeah, you're doing the right thing. Just keep going at what you're doing.
So what the notion is that, look, you're on antidepressants. They're working. Why even come off them? Do you think that's kind of what they were suggesting?
Possibly, or they may have thought, well, your symptoms are coming back, so you need to go back on them again. Whereas I think that it was the withdrawals from the drugs that were having the effect. So
I'm just looking at some of the symptoms of when you do come off antidepressants. Some of them can mimic those original symptoms you had going in.
Yeah, personally, it's been worse. It's been the withdrawal effects have been an awful lot worse than the original postnatal problem I dealt with. 100%.
So how do you feel at the moment then? Are you frightened about the position you find yourself in?
Yeah, I can see the end now. I know that I've maybe got another 6 to 12 months to go, but the lower I get, the harder it is. It seems, I don't know why, for some reason. I mean, I'm really lucky that I was put on a liquid version of the drug, so I've been able to taper it really small into tiny amounts.
Yeah.
But what I think you might think is a tiny amount, maybe too fast, or I may be doing it weekly and it's too fast, so I have to slow it down even further. You have to maybe do a reduction, then give it 4 weeks or 6 weeks to feel better, and then do another one.
So what do we take away from this then, that you feel now when you are prescribed them, you should be given more advice about when and how to come off them?
Yeah, I think it's the knowledge behind it. I think I don't disagree that I probably did need them at the time, and they did help me. It was the aftercare. There's no kind of structure in place to help people get off them. There's no advice. The doctors don't have any ideas, it seems. I think it's becoming better, and it's great that it's been acknowledged. But the withdrawal symptoms are definitely caused by a physical dependency on the drug, not by the problem coming back again.
And they say they're not addictive, but it's just your body gets used to doing something and then finds it hard to let go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, look, when do you think you'll be completely clear of it all, Rebekah?
I'm hoping another 6, possibly up to 12 months, but I don't know. From talking to other people that have been in the same situation, it can... Once you actually stop them, it can be worse after that. People end up with discontinuation syndrome. It can last further. So who knows?
Well, who knows? But we wish you the best, Rebekah. Thank you. Thanks for coming on the programme.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Bye.
Rebekah Hock there. Speaking to us from Leeds. If you've had issues with antidepressants, the current UK guidance actually for doctors says that withdrawal symptoms are usually mild and self-limiting over about a week, but can be severe, particularly if the drug is stopped abruptly. And I guess it's all about that advice about how to wean yourself off. If you've been in that position or you're still on them, you've been on for them a while, let us know. 85058 at BBC5 Live.